An estimated 2,000 Destiny Church supporters rallied at Parliament this afternoon, demanding access to prisons for their rehabilitation programs and millions of dollars in funding. The leader of the church, Brian Tamaki, says his Man Up and Legacy programs have helped hundreds of people turn their lives around, many of whom have spent years in the criminal justice system. But despite putting on a powerful rally and the Justice Minister saying he's open to working with the church, Mr Tamaki is unwilling to formally apply for access to prisons or for funding the way the other rehabilitation providers have to. Here's our Deputy Political Editor, Chris Bramwell.
Brian Tamaki and hundreds of his supporters made their way onto the grounds of Parliament to deliver a petition to ministers. He told the crowd, including ministers and MPs, that lives have been changed dramatically with his Man Up program.
Inmates and prisoners and people with families that were struggling in our worst places. Man Up helped them. Somehow it works. And I know the secret because I wrote the 4 books. That is actually the formula for the 15-week program. But Man Up isn't a program, it's more than a program, it's a lifestyle.
Man Up's website describes the 15-week program as a link to a brotherhood, which helps men identify and understand issues in their lives and work through them for a more stable future. Ex-president of the mongrel mob, Toku Kopu, is 57 years old and says Man Up changed his life.
I was a violent offender, repeat offender. I've been in and out of prison since I was 12. And now I'm 2 years clean. I'm able to focus better now. I changed all my friends to positive people. Just surrounded myself with a lot of people that are in the same predicament as me, came forward. And Man Up helped me with that.
Mr Tamaki claims his programs have been refused access to prisons and had their funding applications rejected. But the Corrections Department says it's never received a formal application from Destiny Church to deliver Man Up or Legacy in prisons. And the Justice Minister, Andrew Little, says the church has also never applied for funding.
I'm not trying to point the finger of blame here. Let's just understand what it is, the issues are, what it is, the issues are for him and his Man Up program, and let's see if we can pull something together that certainly helps the government achieve its objectives, which is reducing family violence, doing whatever we can, and reducing the numbers of folks going to prison.
The Employment Minister, Willie Jackson, says if Destiny Church goes through the proper channels, then they'll be able to get into prisons and get the funding they need.
And I think that's the problem here, that they actually haven't gone through a formal process in terms of applications. Then the ministers can look at it probably seriously. So, let's see what they come up with.
Mr Tamaki, however, appears unwilling to play ball.
Go through the channels. Well, how come the Prime Minister can sign a $30 million just like that, not even consulting, to the Papua New Guinean government, and they misuse it, and they got billions of dollars for pine trees, and they're just one pine tree, they want billions of dollars for pine trees. I'm talking about just a little bit of money for people.
But you can
what's the difference between a pine tree? Correct channels. Right. I can't wait for that. I've been waiting for 20 years.
So you're not going to apply?
Well, I'm doing the business without taxpayers' money.
The Justice Minister is willing to meet with Mr Tamaki to discuss his programs and how the government and the church can work together to reduce the number of Māori in prisons. But in order for that to work, Mr Tamaki will need to be willing to go through the formal processes that other providers do, both for access to prisons and the associated funding. Atu i te whare pārima mō te hōtaka o te ahi pōnei, ko Chris Bramwell ahau.